Welcome back to another episode of the Get Sculpted podcast. I'm Coach Jordana here with coaches Marilyn and Tiana. How are you girls?
We're good. How are you? I just spoke for both of us. I'm sorry. We're good. I'm good.
We are good.
Amazing. So today I'm actually kind of excited for this conversation because when I was back in corporate, we were digging into a little bit of artificial intelligence even back then. But we are going to talk about AI and its relationship to fitness. It is pretty much everywhere right now, not just in fitness, but fitness is no exception. And you've probably seen it, like AI generated meal plans, AI personal trainers, AI coaches even promising to give you a customized program in 30 seconds for free. And look, we're not here to tell you AI is the enemy because it's not. We use it in our business very strategically and for certain reasons. And we're going to talk about that honestly today too. But we're also going to talk about where it is working against you, where it gets fitness dangerously wrong, and why no algorithm on the planet can replace what creates lasting transformation for women in their mid-30s and beyond. So this is a conversation worth having because the technology is not going anywhere. We need to adapt to it, but we need to know the good and the not so good and what to watch out for. So let's talk about how to use it without letting it replace the things that matter the most and what human interventions are still required. So before we dive into this, I want to bring you both in right away because I know you're both hearing things from clients about AI stuff too, or maybe in your chats and your DMs. Like, what have you girls heard? Anything of note?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes I'm like, because clients will be like, I asked ChatGPT about it and I'm like, But then sometimes it is very helpful for leading you in the right direction. But where it's helpful is when they, like, for example, I have a client who was noticing some pain in her glute and she was like, I put in my symptoms ChatGPT. It said it was this. And then I looked at it like with her and I was like, oh, great. This is like super clear on like how I can help her program the right way. And it kind of articulating what she was experiencing, but it didn't do the coaching for her. And obviously without the right context of how to modify things, it doesn't mean anything. Right. Just like I use ChatGPT all the time for like my symptoms I have of something, but I'm not going to replace my doctor with it. So that's how I've noticed it. Clients will kind of like put what they're feeling or thinking and it helps articulate. And then obviously with our coaching, we bridge the gap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
How about you girls?
I've seen it more, to be honest, in like prospective clients, like women we speak to who are coming in to Get Sculpted, because they'll say, like, you know, one of the things we do is we talk about dieting history, we talk about training history. So they'll say things like, oh yeah, I had a ChatGPT meal plan, or I had a, you know, like ChatGPT workout program. But here's what I'm going to say. Like, the reason we're having the conversation is because they're not making progress and they're hitting a wall and then they can't figure out why. So like, again, think about it. If that AI generated program is the holy grail, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? And the other thing I see too is where like they follow those things, but then they come to us thinking like they're the problem. My body's broken, my metabolism's broken. And I'm like, well, no,
it's a strategy.
Had a very generic plan that was not built for anything that has to do with your life or your body. So I'm seeing it more with the people who are not in our community yet.
Yeah. And that's why we're talking about it today, because we need to get clear on how it's going to potentially hurt or help your progress. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how we've been integrating it a little bit inside of Get Sculpted. And we're going to cover like the human element that no technology can replace in a coaching dynamic. And so like, you girls ready to get into it?
Yeah, this is a good
one. Yeah,
one.
let's go.
Okay, cool. So first we're going to talk about where AI hurts your progress. And like the real problem isn't that women are using AI. The problem is that most women don't know what they don't know when they're using it. That's right. Like
no context.
No context. So a free AI generated plan feels like some sort of solution for women. They're like, oh, I'm hacking my way into it and I have something that I can follow and it's easy. And this might be what a coach might give me anyway. It uses words that sound right. It looks like macros that look reasonable. It sounds smart. It seems logical. Yeah. But there's an enormous gap between something that looks correct and something that is correct. And so each one of us is going to cover one aspect of that. Okay. So the first one I'll cover is the context and accuracy problem. So AI tends to work from generalizations. It doesn't know your injury history, your hormonal picture, your relationship with food, your stress load, or the fact that you've been yo-yo dieting for 15 years. And for women in the demographic that we support the most, having perimenopause, that context is like, you know, everything. Like we need to have that as part of the story that we're building and how we support you. And AI is confident even when it's wrong. Like this is like the scary thing, right? It's like, absolutely, you need to do this. And you're like, are you sure? And it's like 100% sure.
You're like, to me
it's
this
a
morning.
totally wrong thing.
Yeah.
And it delivers it in a tone that sounds like really authoritative, even whether it's accurate or not. And I think that's a little bit scary. So you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And nutrition advice generated by AI is really generic and generally incorrect. So calorie targets, macro splits, supplement recommendations, these do require professional context. And I warn you against using a prompt to help you get that support. So Mare, can you walk us through the training and physical side of the challenge here?
Yeah, definitely. So on the programming side, like again, just like you said, things that, you know, AI generates looks amazing on paper. You're like, wow, like it's telling me how many sets, what exercises, how many repetitions, but like it's really missing some of the most important, like fundamental parts of effective strength training, one of which is progressive overload logic. Okay. So AI will give you a list of exercises and sets and reps, but it's not really going to give you a thoughtful progression. It can't tell you things like when it's appropriate to deload. It can't periodize around your actual life. And it's these like small nuances that actually build your strength, your body, and also do all that safely over time. The other part of this is form, right? Like form cannot be corrected by AI. We all have movement patterns, compensations, muscle imbalances that requires human eye. So that is the big difference between someone getting results and getting injured. Okay. And this is why I'm also very proud of what we've built at Get Sculpted, because we have a real human with eyeballs who's an amazing professional, our in-house movement specialist, Francesca, who assesses all of these things for our clients and with our clients. Because AI, like, you know, when I watch the videos and I watch the live form checks that she does with her clients, she will say like the small nuance things that sometimes I even have to rewind and go, what? Like, you know, she'll see like your hips shifting, or she'll see compensations. She'll see your toes lifting, like things like that no AI is going to give you like context for, right? T, you were going to say something?
Yeah. The one thing that I heard that was so eye-opening about AI is that it takes the average of everything out there on the internet and gives you that. And like, it's going to give you a basic B workout that is not it. Like, again, what I think, I don't know about you, but when I've seen this AI workouts, it always pumps out the same freaking exercises.
Yeah.
It loves planks. It's like, shut up with the planks, please. Like, again, this is where, like, exactly what you said earlier, you think, oh, this is giving me progressive overload.
Yeah.
Is it the right, most effective exercises? It's giving you very meh exercises. It's giving you C tier exercises.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So T, would you take us through the third one?
Yes. So this is important. Accountability. So I saw a reel yesterday, which I don't know where I saw it, but it was something talking about like, no, coaching will never be replaced. And it was like someone like hugging and crying with their coach or something. And it just really demonstrated to me like coaching in general is not, yes, there's accountability. And I want to talk about that. Like you can't get the same accountability with AI because number one, it's like, I have this plan. And even if this AI bot messages me, like, this is a bot, like I'm going to close my phone, close my computer. I don't know what they do nowadays. Maybe they do set you reminders or whatever, but that's not the same thing as having that human connection. And I've actually found that people are craving that more than ever because we've become so distant with working from home.
Agree with you more.
After COVID,
and
right?
Technology.
Exactly. Yep. So that's what I always tell people in our coaching program is like, you're coming in, it's like, hey, are we freaking awesome at like the training and nutrition? Yeah. Are we going to give you a great plan? Absolutely. But it's not like that's what makes us so special in this. It's that we're leading you to change and giving you it in the right way that's appropriate for you, number one. But also it's the fact that like a lot of the time it's like the thing on paper isn't your problem, right?
Yes.
There is that, right? Like you need the right thing on paper. But once you have that, it's also like, what you're doing now is not the lifestyle of someone who is your 2.0. And that coaching bridges that gap and leads you to that change.
That's right.
I know for a fact that will never be replaced. And whenever people are like, ooh, AI is coming for your job, I'm like, yeah, for the people who are looking for just a bot to follow, I'm not looking for those people. Yep. Exactly.
T.
And
right?
here's the thing. Sorry, I was listening to The Diary of a CEO, and he had on somebody who is like very big in AI, and he used to work at Google, and they were talking about like the likelihood, the perspective of what's going to happen in like 2 years, but also what's going to be like 10, 20 years from now. And what's really interesting is like the thing that AI, even the most advanced AIs, they can't replace lived experience and like the emotional connection.
Exactly.
So even if, you know, AI can do so many of the elements of what one day, what a coach might be able to do today or does today, they cannot replace the connection. They cannot replace of like, I've lived that experience that you are living and here's how I navigated that. Like you just can't do it. So it's like really interesting. I think there is a way to like bridge it together eventually, and accountability and lived experience is going to be the differentiator in the future.
Couldn't agree more. Yep.
Absolutely. Exactly. And that's actually a really, really good distinction, Jordan, to segue into where AI actually helps and how we use it personally, because we do use it, right? We're not saying that it's bad. Here's the thing, like, there's no shame in that either, you know? Like, there's certain instances where, like, no, we can all tell whose post written by AI, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't know their from their elbow, excuse my French. I've seen these coaches, so-called, and I'm not naming any names, but I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about, and you're putting random stuff into AI. But anyway, when you know what you're talking about, what you're doing, it helps profoundly consolidate your time and make you more efficient. So why don't we all share like how we're using it? I think that's going to be helpful. How I use it, which on the programming side of things, I found this super, super helpful. Making your own GPT has been a game changer. So like I've obviously made a ton of my own programs over the years.
Yes.
And I have certain principles that we all follow, right? But like, you know, certain lifts that are more optimal in general for like the glutes and the quads and like this type of equipment. And when you have free weights and when you have this much training experience, when you have long femurs, like general rest periods, like I fed it so much of this. And then I love the voice, like the dictation. So I'll talk to my ChatGPT, be like, I am going to design a training program for like X training phase. This is going to be the bias. I want you to include these lifts, and bam, it'll put onto paper everything that like I program and that I say based on my style.
But that's the key.
Because I love programming so much. I'm like, this would have taken me hours and hours, and now it's taking minutes, which is incredible. So.
And I'm certain of this because I know you. You're still refining it. You're not just taking 100%. The output and being like, this is the program. It's like, here's the baseline of where we start based on how AI interprets all of my best knowledge.
Yes.
And then brings it out as a suggestion, and then you iterate off of that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it just, again, you still need that trained eye, but it saves tons of time for the skeleton of it.
Yeah.
How about you, Mare?
Well, I was just going to say before I go into how I use it, I think that's the big key though, is like, you don't just be like, write me a program. You have fed it like years worth of things that you've already done. It's
your
so
expertise.
Essentially like, that's the thing. So it's almost like AI's leveraging you in that case.
Yes.
You know, your knowledge and your expertise and everything you've fed to it, and you're just refining, which makes it a time saver, right? And that's why for us also, like I can speak for all of us, we use it on like the operational and administrative side of things. Like as a business owner, it is actually saved so much time for like behind the scenes work, but it's all stuff that has nothing to do with coaching, right? So like I'll use it for summarizing information, organizing templates, different systems, things like that. But when it comes to like assessment, programming, nutrition, all of that has to be people, not AI, right? Because everything we do starts with us looking at the entire individual. So to you, actually, this is such a perfect explanation. Like, think of how you're using it. Could I really sit there and be like, all right, I'm going to tell you about the last like 46 years of this woman that I'm working with? I'm not going to do that. So that AI will never have the full context of her history, her body, what she's been through, what she's currently going through. So I'd say like, it's great for like administrative organization. I love that for us, but not for like the nuance of actually working with clients. What about you, Jord?
Yeah, I love it. I agree. I think for me, it's about finding efficiencies where it might have taken me hours to, let's say, brainstorm for even our podcast. Like we get a lot of like brainstorming done leveraging, I am really loving Claude. But like that's one area that I use it for is brainstorming, which is huge, researching things. Good. And then finding efficiency. So even like comparing past content that I've shared to current content that I've written, why something performed a certain way where it didn't, or how I've delivered something, even like why somebody said yes or no to becoming a client, like taken the call that I've done and been like,
that's a good one.
Where did I go wrong? Or how could this conversation have gone differently? Or what questions might I have missed that, might have helped this person even more. And I think that that's how we're going to be leveraging AI in the future. It's really a blend between finding efficiencies, doing the right research, brainstorming, operations kind of things, and then leaving the coach with their lived experience and expertise to be the one to make the final call and deliver the system and deliver that experience to the client. And that's, I think, what is the nicest blend that I'm seeing so far. And so I think like, let's like dive a little deeper into that human element, Mare. Like, can you talk us through like what that actually might look like more deeply?
Yeah, you touched on this. So like I do want to talk about like our lived experience as coaches and also the relationship, but that's the key word. It's a relationship. Okay. So when I think about the coaching, I also think about the women who have been with us. And we talked about this on our last episode about like deficit phase, maintenance phase. So like some of our clients are with us quite literally for years. So that relationship is built over years, not weeks or months. And there's a certain amount of like trust and pattern recognition that we start to recognize, right? So, you know, we start to know the nuances of our clients. Like, how do they behave when they're stressed? Like when this particular stressor comes up, what excuses do they default to? Like what motivates them? What shuts them down? Again, none of that can exist through AI. The other thing is like when you think about it, the algorithm resets every time you open a new chat. So if I'm talking to my, you know, AI about a particular client, the next time it's like the context goes to zero. It's almost like I'm starting from scratch every conversation. That's not coaching, right? And real coaching, when you think about the relationship, it means knowing when to kind of call your client up and when to pull back, right? Like we have to know the difference between the tone of voice we use with our clients and how we deliver the information. For some clients, they respond more to like tough love. They need that, or they need it in some situations and not others. Sometimes they need extra understanding depending on what's going on in their life. So we pick up on those things and AI cannot. Like, you know, like if a client's like, yeah, I'm fine, but they're ghosting you and they're not checking in and they're not fine. Like we know that AI is not going to find that, right? So that's the intuition that we build through years of working with women that like AI cannot do. And then George, you said this, and I think it is the most important thing, lived experience. Like think about this, right? Like the three of us, we are coaches, but we have also been clients. We have been on our own transformation journeys. We continue to be on our own journeys. Like that context, the work we've done, all of that benefits the women we work with so much. Right? The women we work with are unique. They have histories. We have histories. They have like complex hormonal profiles. So do we. So all of these things mean that we get to help them on a deeper level than AI ever will. Right. And another thing that we always talk about too is like cookie cutter programs. That doesn't cut it for women. It's never worked. And if you think about it, AI is kind of like a very sophisticated cookie cutter. Because while it looks personal, it might feel personal, underneath it is like a generalized output. Like you said, it's speaking to the general population, right?
Yeah, I was going to say like, I think I'm realizing like, what's the point of like living life so disconnected from people? Like, isn't that, not to get all philosophical, but isn't that like, if I'm spending my time and money in my life, like, why would I just want to be as disconnected from people as possible? You know, like, I don't want to take the cheapest, most hands-off path, right? It's like, that's kind of my mindset is like, I want the path where I feel supported and connected and like,
connected.
I'm not, it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. Like that's important.
I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast that like, you know, because we all love therapy. Therapy is cool. But my therapist has said that like as women, we are living in like an epidemic of loneliness. And our default is often to like retreat and like, you know, not kind of reach out for the people and the things in our lives to help us. So we're feeling more disconnected than ever. And I've never been able to like help myself out of something because you're in your own mind. So it's like your community, your coaches, that becomes your lifeline. And the other day, my therapist actually said that to me. She's like, because I was boasting about our Get Sculpted community, and she's like, do you believe in community? I was like, of course I do. Look. And she's like, but do you also look for community elsewhere, like not just in your fitness space? And it made me think, it's like, okay, like where do I actually seek the support of other women? So we always say that transformation does not happen in isolation. Transformation happens in relationships. So this is why community is another layer of this. Other women who will see you, encourage you, support you, and they have their lived experience that you can also leverage, right? And again, no AI can give you a community and a coach that is going to go that deep with you. So that's, you know, I truly believe that that is one of the biggest differentiators. So T, I would love if you could maybe chat with us now about the mindset and behavior side, because there's a big part of that AI will never be able to reach either.
Exactly. I think we covered a lot of this. So like, I'm going to wrap it in a pretty bow by saying like, it is about behavior change. Like with getting to that 2.0 version of yourself, it's not that you just don't have this magic secret knowledge. And again, part of it is too, like where AI can be helpful to guide you in the right direction. That's another thing I will give it, right? So a lot of the people that we speak with, a lot of the women, they'll have like the right concept down of like, I think I need more muscle, or I think I'm not eating enough. But this is really where you bridge that gap of like, okay, now here's what that looks like for you. Here's how we take you, or you might have that self-awareness, but it's the behavior change that needs to happen, quite frankly. So it's like emotional eating, stress eating, mindless eating. Like this is not, it's not discipline. It's strategy, but it's also like having that background info of like why that's happening for you, right? Like that's where the right strategy comes into place. And like, I think the most important thing that I will say is like the identity piece. So like, if you are the type of person who is living in your 1.0 right now, right? Like sporadically eating, randomly drinking and eating out, you're skipping your meals. Like that is not you lacking like I know I should be eating more protein. It's not that. It's like, how do I put myself in the best possible position to become the type of person who is regimented, training the right way, lifting heavy, showing up that way? And how do you like really stack that momentum? Because for our community, it's being in that group of women where like,
that's right.
We all paid to be here too, right? It's like we all raised our hand and said, yes, I want to level up. And now you're with these women, they're all doing it. You're seeing them doing it, and you're a product of that environment. And that's something that like, it's just not going to happen for 99.9% of people by just like being glued to an app, even if that strategy is leading you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Would you guys add anything?
No, I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And again, we want to invite you here because if you're like, I've been doing the self-guided. I've been doing self-guided for years. My body's not changing, but also I'm not leveling up. Put yourself in that environment, because our members not only get a lot out of working with us, from like the tactics, the coaching, all that, they get a lot from each other. And that's just not what you're going to get self-guided. So head to getsculpted.ca/contact. Tell us about you, and we will personally reach out and walk you through what your success path would be. All right.
Awesome.
George, take us home.
Amazing. So let's let this all land for a second. Like AI is a tool. Like any tool, it's only as good as the hands using it and the context behind it. Used well, it can create efficiencies, spark ideas, support the back end of even a business. But used blindly, it can send you down a path that wastes your time, stalls your progress, and in some cases genuinely can put your health at risk. So here's what I want you to take away from today. If you're using AI for fitness inspiration, for recipe ideas, for general curiosity, go ahead, like have fun with it. Like by all means. I would challenge you to like ask, like, can Google do the same thing? Like, why do you need the AI to do that for you? Because you're asking more general questions. Right. But if you're relying on it for the levels deeper, like programming, your nutrition strategy, even like accountability or behavior change things, you're missing the most important ingredient in your transformation. And that's the human one. That's right. And a woman in their mid 30s and beyond trying to navigate perimenopause, complicated relationships with food, a demanding career, family, all the things that help her want to level up, and a body that's changing faster than she expected. Like, we don't need a faster algorithm, right, to support us. We need a coach who can see her fully, knows her history, understands the science, and has the experience to know how and when to push and when to hold space for her. And that's what we built at Get Sculpted. Like that's what we do. And that's how we show up for the women in our community every single day. So if today's conversation made something click for you and you are ready to stop outsourcing your transformation to a chatbot and start working with a team that's fully invested behind you, I love how you framed that up, T. Come find us, getsculpted.ca/contact. We would love to be the humans in your corner. And on that note, if this resonated with you, please share it with a friend, because this is like a thing that's not going away in our world, and we should all be thinking about it and how we use it. And we will see you next week when we're discussing how to bring sexy back, discovering your personal style. Woo-hoo. Love it. And that's going to be a super fun episode. So chat then.
Bye.
Bye.